Good morning. Tim Ricciardi from Technology One. We're an application solution provider working with web and mobile technologies. And we're going to tell a story this morning about a project that we're very excited about that's live now in production and how it came to be and how we got there. So it started with this concept called Skype in a Box. Our client, Bridgestone Golf, came to us and said at the annual PGA show, how do we bring PGA Tour pros into the show and chat with our audience? So here we have Davis Love, U.S. Ryder Cup captain at the PGA show. He's actually chatting with Matt Kuchar, being interviewed by one of the radio show hosts here at the show, and folks are watching that and getting excited about the ability to see what video chat is all about. At the same time, we broadcast that out via the web so people can watch it from home. So that was kind of our introduction to Bridgestone with video. Post-conference, Bridgestone came to us and said, hey, you have this Skype in a Box thing where we actually, we didn't have technical folks there at the PGA, at the tournament, so we shipped up a kit so a non-technical person can hook up Skype, and they liked that idea, we got this to work, and they said, hey, what if we could take this technology and bring it directly to retail and have a consumer at point of sale talk to one of our ball fitting technicians? Bridgestone Golf is very customer focused. They have a lot of programs where they have their professional golf technicians in front of customers. So they wanted to take this technology and do that. So in this meeting, we remember them drawing us up on the whiteboard and saying, can you build this for us? And we said, absolutely we can do this. We walked out of that meeting, we looked at each other and said, we have no idea how we're going to build this. And this was back in early 2012. So what we want to talk about here is kind of a story of how do we get from this to the video kiosk. So here's our application. If anyone's a golf fan, it's David Ferrety, one of the Bridgestone Golf staffers. That's our point of sale video kiosk. Again, bringing this directly into the retail space so you can chat as a consumer directly with the ball fitting technician. And there's Elliot, one of our track ball fitting technicians having a chat. He's in his home office. All of our technicians are out in the field in their home offices, probably chatting with, he could be chatting with a PGA Superstore in Palo Alto, California. So let's just do a high-level overview of what technologies we use to build this. So again, here we have Elliot on the iOS. It's an iPad app. We're using TalkBox's OpenTalk technology. Of course, this is a traditional, really a call center, right? So they've got to request a call. We've got to manage that. We've got to route to operators. We've got to track that. So we need an application server. Technology One moves to Microsoft shop. Our background is in .NET, C#, web development, HTML, JavaScript type development applications. So we built a little REST API from iOS talk to our application server. We didn't want to build down to the low level of WebRTC, so that's why we brought in TalkBox. They manage sessions, security, connectivity. We don't have to deal with that. We can focus on our application. There it is. On the operator side, we built the web portal. How do our operators manage incoming calls? And not only is it for the operators, this is for the entire Bridgestone Golf management team. They can manage what's going on with the system. So again, traditional call center, reliability, tracking, real time. For signaling, we use a product called, or a tool from Microsoft, ASP.NET SignalR. That's our signaling engine. Allows us to do real-time signaling and broadcasting to the portal. And then what we're all here for, WebRTC, TalkBox puts us together and we have our chat. and we track and store all activity in a Microsoft SQL Server database. Those are all the high-level pieces there. We're going to go down just a little bit deeper into some of these. So again, .NET Shop experience with those technologies. Our first version of 1.0 of the kiosk, we weren't iOS developers, right? We didn't know how to code in Objective-C, so we subcontracted that out, brought a firm in, built the 1.0 version for us. Worked great. But like all developers, right, we want to control the application code. We want to enhance it. We want to know how it worked. So we did a little digging around. We found this company, Xamarin. I don't know who's familiar with Xamarin here, but Xamarin Studio allows us to build native iOS applications using C# and take advantage of .NET portable class libraries. And because OpenTalk, TalkBox technology, is gaining such popularity that Xamarin actually built us the bindings to call their library. So you can, with Xamarin, you can bring in any third-party iOS libraries. The Xamarin folks built those bindings for us. So the story here is that we re-engineered this application. We built it. It took us 4 weeks. We never built an iOS app before. And so we were really excited about this technology. It's familiar to us, and now we can extend and enhance it the way we want. Just a little dive into some code here. Again, not Objective-C. This is standard C# on the iOS client. We're able to call the portable class library, so we can do things like WebRTC requests, so we can make a REST call to request a chat. Our OpenTalk libraries are wrapped for us. We generate a session object, and we securely connect with our OpenTalk API key and a security token. Again, OpenTalk manages all that back-end stuff for us. Let's talk a little bit about the application server. Again, we built the REST API for incoming chat requests and ping. So why would we have a ping on this video chat? So if you notice the application here, you're in retail space. And Dick's Sporting Goods loves that we're in there, but they don't really care to manage whether that app is running or not. So we need to know our system's up and running. So the kiosk ping every 15 minutes to know that we can manage that on the back end. And we'll see that in a little bit. In addition, it tells us that there's activity on the kiosk. So if we've got 50 out there in the field, the operators know where is their activity. So the kiosks are always pinging through our REST API. TalkBox with your OpenTalk server-side SDK have a nice .NET wrapper for us, allow us to trade sessions and to trade security tokens, and we do that on the back end and send that all down with a chat request. Again, SignalR is our broadcast system. That does a broadcast. It's a ring all, so there's no call queuing or waiting. A call comes in and we blast that out to every operator who's on. First one to pick up wins. And again, we log all activity, whether or not there's a call connected or not. So requests where we may be offline, things are disconnected, and so forth. We log all of that activity. And just to show, this is just basic code. This is our back-end server using SignalR. A couple lines of code, we get access to SignalR Hub, and with a single line of code, we broadcast that chat request out to all our operators. On the operator side, here's our queue. We call it the queue system. Runs in the Google Chrome browser. Now we're using a JavaScript WebRTC SDK from TalkBox and the SignalR JavaScript library. So here's what an operator or a manager would see from Bridgestone Golf. Red is bad, green is good. Red, we got a kiosk that's been offline for a while. We need to do something about that. We need to call a store, maybe send someone on site. We see there's some activity. I don't know how well you guys can read this, but we can see is someone on the chat page, is someone on the ball selection guide page. Our application does more than just chat. We also have some tools for the consumer to do their own research. So we know that there's activity, and then of course there's an incoming chat, and there's an audio and visual cue for the operator. At the end of the call, or if the call doesn't get connected, we track everything. We log in. Again, an operator can see it, the management team can see it, they can record the stats, the call, was it good, was the call quality good, what did they talk about, managing the call queue. And this is just to tie the code together a little bit. So we saw on the server that we had the blast out there to request the chat. For you web JavaScript guys, you're familiar with Document Ready there and jQuery, we're just creating a variable connection to the hub, and it's really a callback. It's calling back into a JavaScript function. From there you handle it. Really simple. So why do we choose TalkBox? We were looking for a platform and not an application. We want to control over our app. We're application developers. We can spell turn and stun and ice, but we don't want to worry about it. So TalkBox does all that heavy lifting for us. They manage the changes that are going on with Google's WebRTC stack, not us. They manage the connectivity. They manage all the changes in technology. So again, we want to focus on application solutions. And we were early adopters of this. When we started, this was early 2012. WebRTC wasn't even out yet. TalkBox, they had a solution using Flash. That's where we started. They quickly were one of the first to go to WebRTC. They had a beta in August of 2012. And when we saw it, we jumped on it, we called them, and they gave us development resources, marketing resources, access to their executive team if need be. So it's been a really good partnership. So what are the key experience points that we've learned from this? About 30% of the time we spent developing this app. The code isn't the hard part. 70% of the time is support, deployment, equipment configuration. We've got non-technical people in retail space that can't fix issues. Wireless signal issues. So we spent a lot of time working through those types of issues. And if you're going to start a project, you need to have time allocated, resources allocated, because once you finish the app, it's not over. There's a lot of work left for you after that. What are the three most important criteria for success that we have? Connectivity, connectivity, connectivity. 95% of our problems are connectivity. We started out in retail space saying we use their wireless that they have there. It's horrible. Couldn't get a connection, couldn't get to their firewalls. Now we said, let's put our own wireless in. Too expensive. Then we tried 4G jetpacks. Wouldn't go through double NAT at the time. Tried clear 4G modems, not great coverage. So a lot of planning on connectivity, especially if you're in a commercial space. So control your environment as much as possible. We started out, actually our first version was Windows, because the iOS SDK wasn't ready yet. Wasn't out there. So we built the Windows with, a touchscreen, Windows box, cabling, webcams, all those different connectivity points were killing us. On the back end, we had our Beefy guys. They're PGA professionals. They're not tech guys, right? So they're running laptops, surfing the web, webcam problems. So we quickly took the back end guys. We bought them on Chromebooks. The cameras aren't great in those things yet. I don't know if the new ones are any better. But there's a lot less moving parts. It's a little self-contained video chat unit for $250 each Chromebook. I don't know what they cost now, but that's what they were at the time. And we ended up with iPads with built-in 4G. Don't want to rely on anyone else's connectivity, so it's much less moving parts. Plan out whether you're going to build or buy. You can see from what we've shown you here today, that we've built a lot of this. Well, we were early in the game. Things like the signaling stack and all that is changing. TalkBox has a great customer service SDK they just came out with. You may want to take a look at that. But again, WebRTC connects to endpoints. If you're building an application, you've got to build the infrastructure around it to make it a full solution. And if you're going mobile, depending on your deployment, make sure you plan for application deployment. It took us about 3 months to get it deployed. So this is not an app that you can go to the iTunes store and download, right? It's only for Bridgestone Golf retail locations. So we went with the enterprise program. I would say, great, we're an enterprise, let's get the app. I don't know if anyone's gone to the Apple Enterprise examination. After 2 months of going back and forth, we said, hey, let us see the contract so we can go through the legal stuff, see if we comply. We were all ready to get signed, and finally they wouldn't show it to us. They finally gave us the legals. We read it. Bridgestone legal read it, but we didn't even comply. We had to do a 180, and we since went with the volume purchasing program, which is much less restrictive. But in any event, if you go that route, you want maybe to consider an MDM solution if you're going to manage a lot of clients. So some of the things that we learned. So that's our overview. Please stop by and visit us in the Expo Center. We have an actual kiosk there. I wouldn't even call it a demo because it's live. You're going to talk to a live Bridgestone Golf technician, and if you're one of the lucky ones to come by and do that, there's a free 2-ball pack from all who partake. So thank you. Thank you very much.
So again, we have a few minutes for direct questions for Tim, if you have any, before we bring Rod back up as well for the panel time.
No. Did we have any issues with forcing the adoption of Chrome within Bridgestone? Not at all. The team we work with at Bridgestone is very progressive technology-wise, and the ball fitting team is in the field, so they're far away from corporate IT, and by issuing the Chromebooks, we took that out of the equation.
Why iOS instead of Android for the actual kiosk clients?
Why iOS instead of Android for the kiosk clients?
Good question. I think at the time we were building it, I don't think Android was an option at that time, and Bridgestone Golf is an iPad Apple shop, and they had to do the deployment and management, and that's what they felt comfortable with.
All right, great. Let's thank